Thank you, Senator Byrne. Next speaker, I'm advised, is Senator John Whelan, and the Senator has 5 minutes.
Thanks very much, Lasker Hirlock. And firstly, here this evening, I would like to take the opportunity to apologise on my own behalf, on behalf of the Labour Party in East Offaly, and apologise to the electorate in our constituency for failing in this instance to abide by what I believe was a solemn pre-election pledge to protect child benefit. To say otherwise, in my opinion, is merely semantics, playing with words and splitting hairs. When I, along with the rest of my colleagues, went around the constituency and put up those posters and gave out those leaflets, I earnestly believed that we intended to stand over that commitment. I earnestly regret that we have not, and I share the same deep sense of betrayal which is felt by many of those in my community and beyond who have contacted me, anxious and distressed by this across-the-board cut in child benefit. We also promised to protect the most vulnerable, to be fair and to ensure equity against, again, a universal cut to the carers' respite grant surely fails that test. It's not that I'm looking here to apportion blame this evening, but rather to accept my share of the blame and responsibilities in these failures. If we promise reform, we also promise to restore confidence and credibility to a much tarnished and discredited body politic, which has been brought into such disrepute. We will hardly do so by continuing ourselves to make false promises and breaking the commitments we have made. The government has a current expenditure in excess of 52 billion, and the adjustment in tough cuts and taxes in this budget amount to 3.5 billion. The main flashpoints that are coming before the floor this evening and in the social welfare bill over the next 3 days amount to less than 150 million. It is my sincerely held view that we could have addressed this amount differently, rather than picking on children and carers. The option of a temporary, short-term solidarity levy or charge on high earners in excess of 100,000 was, however, roundly rejected by the coalition government. The choice of the Cabinet made is beyond me. It falls to more than Labour to be guardians and gatekeepers of social solidarity, fairness and decency. People complain about the hand of the Troika and our lack of sovereignty, and yes, we are not free agents and we are beholden. But certainly our income tax regime and our policy should not be set by faceless third parties. After all, we already have a generous and attractive corporation tax regime. I'm of the view that many high earners and indeed corporate entities would willingly subscribe to a voluntary social charge or a voluntary corporate contribution in the short term, particularly if they felt that resource was going to be ring-fenced and put to best use for those most genuine need. It would be remiss of me this evening not to acknowledge and commend Minister Joan Burton, who will be rejoining us in a few moments, I understand, for the considerable achievement in the manner in which she has substantially protected those reliant on the bulk of her 20 billion budget and safeguarded the weekly payments to the disabled, the carers, the widows, pensioners and the unemployed. For that I am grateful and as are they, and this is no mean achievement and I don't disregard it. However, the time has surely come and is long overdue to overhaul and reform a child benefit system, a child benefit scheme which was introduced in the 1930s. We live in much different and more complex times, and the high time has come that no way a cut should affect families on 20, 30 and 40,000 the same way as it affects people earning well in excess of doubles and treble that amount. On such difficult decisions that come before us this week, the Senate does have a responsibility. But I don't believe anyone here has the monopoly on courage or righteousness. One road is as hard as the other. I do take exception to some of the personalised and vitriolic attacks. Some people seem to think that it's okay to give any politician the meat, dog's abuse, as if it doesn't matter. As for the goading of the opposition, well, they will maintain that they're simply doing their job, perhaps. But let me make it clear, it would be a poor lookout for me if I had to turn to either Fianna Fáil or Sinn Féin to set my moral compass. I will not be chided or chastised by either Micheál Martin or Gerry Adams about the right thing to do or doing the right thing. Was it not Micheál Martin, after all, and others who now cosy up beside him, sniggering and sneering, that when their chance came to stand up and be counted, they actually choose to stand idly by when Bertie Ahern and his greedy cohorts were making this country dry? And we turn then to the political utopia that is Sinn Féin. What would we have? A Fianna Fáil Sinn Féin government. God knows the country has enough troubles. We may not have prevailed, Cathaoirleach, on the Minister.
Could I ask the Senator to try to conclude? You have approximately 30 seconds left and we have a lot of speakers.
Thanks very much. This past 2 weeks, I have robustly endeavoured to do my best without fear or favour, in private and in public, to persuade and to change elements of this budget. It is not my function, however, as a Labour senator to seek to recklessly destabilise the government. To vote down the bill would be, in my considered view, lead to such instability, which would be dangerous for our country. To what end and to what benefit? And who would gain? I believe that it would be pointless if a populist gesture, playing into the hands of a grossly irresponsible opposition. Some of us have a value system and agenda that goes way beyond the pursuit of merely looking to the next election and playing to the gallery. I'll finish on this point, Cathaoirleach, and thank you for your tolerance. I intend to continue to campaign and champion change and re-reform, but to do so as a committed Labour senator and a committed supporter of the government.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Whelan, and Senator Catherine's phone is